What's up? A to Z Sports here live on a Monday. It's going to be a crazy week, and we'll just make it even crazier by kicking it off with a new Titans uniform report from Easton this morning, officially out at A2ZSports.com a couple hours ago and making its round on social media after we teased you guys with it last night on a Sunday. And I hope everybody is not late and is waking up on time for their jobs today. I'm not throwing shade at Easton on that. Not. So, hey, we're going to have a great show this morning.
Known not late guy.
Yeah. We're going to have a fantastic show this morning because there are so many things to talk through, and there are a lot of stuff that will happen while we are live every day this week, and hopefully we can keep up with it as the NFL free agency legal tampering period officially kicks off at 11 a.m.
We changed
Central
that, by the
Time.
way. Did you catch wind of this? It's not called that anymore.
What's it called?
It's called the 2-day negotiating window.
Whatever. It's legal tampering.
That's what the league. The league doesn't use that terminology anymore.
Well, you know what?
It's all dumb. It's just free agency.
It doesn't matter what the league wants it to be. We know it as the legal tampering period.
But do we want it to be that? Like, that was dumb too.
Guys,
you know what I mean?
Guys, everybody still calls it Twitter. I don't care how much Elon paid for it or how much he's putting into it. We're calling it Twitter, right?
But did people ever really pick up on the whole legal tampering thing? Or did we just call it free agency?
I think so.
We should just call it free agency. That's what it is.
Yes, free agency is.
The free agents are signing today. If you want to say it starts on Wednesday, okay, cool. But they're signing today, or they're agreeing today.
They're not
signing on Wednesday. Excuse me.
That's when
the decision is being made. Actually, the decision's been made for a while for some of these guys, but
for sure. So we'll get to all of it. Wandale Robinson, big money wide receivers. The Titans.
Speaking of decisions that have been made,
continue. Well, I mean, they continue to be. I keep seeing tweets about other wide receivers and Wan'Dale Robinson being Titans team to watch for. So we'll talk through all these things. What happens with Calvin Ridley if the Titans sign a big money wide receiver and the new look that we'll talk through here. And we'll also ask a question. What do you feel most confident in the Titans doing this week? So we're going to have a great conversation here on this morning show. If you haven't noticed yet, we've got something new on the show, and I'll tell you about them here in a moment. But Easton, first, tell the people what they got to do first.
We got to like the show. We got to tap into the comments. Folks, you know the drill. If you're on Facebook or if you're on YouTube, big day today, big week this week. Make it the week that you do your part on your end and hit that like button for us. We appreciate it. It's very helpful and it's very free to use. So click that thumbs up button and then jump into the comments, whether you're on Facebook or on YouTube. We appreciate you all chiming in, and we want to hear your thoughts as the chaos is hours away from ensuing. So do that and make sure you're subscribed too if you're watching on YouTube. Austin, let's not waste any longer. Let's get to it.
So officially welcome in the A2Z Sports Live on a Monday here, driven by AutoPro Nashville every Wednesday morning at 8 Central Time on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Links straight out segment by segment on our Twitter feed at A2Z Sports. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and more Titans coverage right there. I'm also posting in the link to the follow us on Google right there, Google preferred source link. So when you're Googling new Titans uniforms, new Titans free agents, Titans draft, Titans mock draft, all these things that you have A to Z Sports content show up as a preferred source right there. So hit that link to follow us on Google. Getting our sponsors because they make it happen and they help out you as well. Again, new title sponsor of the show. Super pumped to talk about AutoPro Nashville. They provide an assortment of multiple types of high-line luxury vehicles at competitive prices with 2 locations at Brentwood and in Murfreesboro, AutoProNashville.com. The Bone and Joint Institute, the region's destination for comprehensive orthopedic and sports medicine care. They're online at boneandjointtn.org. And Window Nation, taking advantage of March's deal, and that is a 50% off all of window styles there at windownation.com. Windownation.com is where to go. I mean, it wasn't the goal. We weren't supposed to be like new title sponsor, new uniform report, Titans free agency all at once. The goal was to do 2 of those things. It was new title sponsor, Titans free agency happening at the same time, because that's great for AutoPro Nashville, because we're going to have a huge audience today because AutoPro Nashville, Hans, Andrew and I, our sales guy in Nashville and for A to Z Sports, been talking with Hans for a few weeks. Great guy, super invested into not just the community, but the sports community, a big advocate of athletics at all levels, whether it's youth, high school, college, and pro here in the Nashville market. You would be surprised at the amount of names that Hans can drop we have all watched play professional football in this city that have been dropping by AutoPro Nashville for years now. So check them out online, autopronashville.com. More about them throughout the show and beyond as our new title sponsor here. So pumped to have Hans a part of the team, and we'll do a lot of fun stuff with Hans and AutoPro Nashville. So Easton, you got something.
We got a little something. That's
right.
Right.
So yesterday I got a text from Easton saying, I'm on a call. Oh, okay. And so I was like, let me know when you're done with that call. And so here we are. We published it this morning. The Titans will be rocking a brand new helmet combination for the first time in franchise history. I will let you drive the car here for this report. That's not part of the sponsorship. That's just me doing that.
Okay. Well, sure. There's really three pretty significant little details in this report that you should go and read at AtoZSports.com right now, because we're not going to be able to talk through all of it this morning. But the headline here is the Titans' new helmets, which they will reveal on Thursday, are white with white face masks, a combination that we have never seen in Titans and Oilers history. There's been a lot of gray face masks. There's been a red face mask. There's been a navy face mask. There have been a couple of iterations of white shells, obviously, at the end of the Oilers run and then in the beginning of the Titans run. But we have never seen a white shell, white face mask combination. So while we don't have an actual picture of the helmet for you, and we don't know every single detail of the helmet, like, the striping pattern and colors, although we do expect there to be a stripe, obviously, down the middle, we know that it'll be a white shell, white face mask, and that Titans logo, which we reported on February 14th. Wait, is that right? February 14th? Was that Valentine's Day we did that?
Yes, we worked our butts off on Valentine's Day. That morning.
You know what?
Valentine's Day was a very, very busy day.
I was about to say, it didn't even click with me that day was Valentine's Day, because my wife and I had handled that earlier in the week. So yeah, that's kind of crazy. But yeah, we reported on that logo, and that's been confirmed a couple of times since then. So you know what the logo is going to look like. It's going to be big on the side of that helmet, and it's starting to come into picture, Austin. So that's the first detail. The next detail is a small detail on its own, but it's a part of a bigger picture that I think you're going to hear a lot more about when we get to the Thursday reveal party for the Titans. I would wager a significant amount of money that this is either implicitly or explicitly talked about by them when we hear them lay out their vision for this rebrand. The word mark that goes right here on the breastplate where the V of the jersey comes down has always, since the Titans became the Titans, read Titans. Now it's going to read Tennessee, which you're like, okay, cool, they're the Tennessee Titans. But again, there are a number of elements to this rebrand, some that we know of already, some that we don't, that lend themselves to this idea that the Titans, with this rebrand, are trying to take the opportunity to really wrap their arms around the entire state for which they are named. Now, for folks that have been around a long time, like I have, I've been here as long as the Titans have been here, just barely. Don't ask me about some of the earlier details, though. I was a little bit young.
Like on this earth.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But folks that have been around know the history of the team coming to Nashville and rebranding themselves as the Titans of Greek mythology and establishing themselves as a new brand, the professional team in town, trying to, a way that a friend of mine, Danny Heifetz at The Ringer, once put it is that SEC football in this area is in the blood. NFL football's in the water. And so trying to infiltrate a decades-long history of SEC football in general, but really the Tennessee Volunteers in particular in this part of town and in this state, was a difficult task. And depending on who you ask, there are different perspectives on how the Titans handled ingratiating themselves into the culture here, and certain Volunteer fans weren't as pleased as others. The point is, and this is not just all about some rivalry between the Volunteers that may or may not exist. The point of this is that the Titans are trying to embrace the state and not just be Nashville's team, be Tennessee's team. And I think that's a worthy goal. I think some of the things that they're going to reveal on Thursday are going to, I think they're going to land for people. So again, this is just one element of that, but I think that you're going to see that as a theme as we work through this reveal.
For sure. So just to go through the report, white helmet, white face mask, Tennessee across the front chest above the front numbers of the uniform is our latest report. And look, you can read more about that at AtoZSports.com on top of the other things that we have reported. And it's funny. We have now put out 2 reports on this. First, starting to confirm the logo that is now on the bottom right corner of your screen underneath Easton there, that is the real logo. We did that on Valentine's Day, and also went through the other reports about, the helmet will not be navy, but now we know for a fact that it will be white with a white face mask. I think that's going to look clean. I think the white on white, I'm a big fan of white on white when it comes to uniforms. I have seen a lot of people just in our Twitter mentions from the last 2.5 hours of saying, you had the red face mask right in front of you. Like it was sitting right there.
I'm kind of glad they didn't, to be honest. I know a lot of people thought that was going to be sexy, and I get it. The last iteration of the Oilers helmet, the one that they wore with their throwbacks the past couple of years, is that red face mask. But and another thing that we wrote about in the article is a big part of the intentionality behind this rebrand is marrying the Oilers history with the Titans history, marrying the Titans ties to the Music City in Nashville, to the state. And while I think you're going to see a lot more Oiler influence here, it's just as much a point of this that they aren't just doing the Oilers thing as it is that they're doing sort of the Oilers thing.
Yes.
Right? So you've got to be in the middle somewhere. And there are certain things I'd be like, if they did that, then you like, it's not, be original. This is original.
Yeah. So our friends at Titans Brazil, so our Brazilians, Titans
Good morning, Brazilians.
Community, who have phenomenal memories, because they tweeted at us yesterday being like, hey, A to Z broke the helmet color news in 2018. So now this is 2 helmet colors in a row plus a face mask that A to Z Sports has been able to break.
Expertise in.
That's when you want to know what color the Titans' next helmet's going to be, you come to A to Z Sports, damn it. You know that. But I think they put out a response to our report this morning about how basically what you just said. If they had the white helmet with a red face mask and the logo that we know that is the new logo, it would look so much like that helmet that we've seen a million times from 1981 to 1998. That was the Houston, then Tennessee Oilers, and then we've seen in the throwback versions of it. So I think it's. Yeah, so that's very much okay. You guys are just trying to make money off of the Oilers stuff that you sold a bunch of the last few years. But so I think the white face mask is a differentiator between those two. You're not just going and copying the Oilers helmet with a brand new logo on the side of it. So I like the idea of that. So I don't know. Maybe we'll put up a YouTube poll. Should I put up a YouTube poll that's just like, what do you think about the white face mask? Should I do that?
Sure.
Okay. We'll do that.
There's really not a reason not to. So
yeah, sure. Why the hell not? We're just gathering data. What are we going to do with it? I have no idea. Maybe we'll find a way or a reason to use for it. There's a lot of stuff happening because apparently Minkah Fitzpatrick just got traded to the Jets.
Oh.
Now, I am not entirely sure where Minkah Fitzpatrick was most recently playing, because he has gone from the Dolphins to the Steelers to the Dolphins and now to the Jets, I think. Is that correctly?
Yes, he was back with the Dolphins last we heard.
So here we are.
Is my audio messed up?
No. Wait, is it?
I don't know. Is it?
No, you're good. You're good.
Okay.
You're good. So Minkah Fitzpatrick to the Jets. I'm going to put up a YouTube poll. Easton, if you could, just kind of catch us up on what's been happening around the NFL this morning. I'll go ahead and give you another second of time. Something that we knew was going to happen was the Titans were not going to tender as a restricted free agent, Darrell Baker Jr., because the cheapest tender for RFAs was $3.5 million.
Mm-hmm.
So he's not worth that. Right. So that was always going to be the obvious. So now that we've got that out there, that's the big Titans related update from today that we kind of knew about. But what else is happening around the league? Well, I'll put up this YouTube poll.
Sure. So to your point, Baker is a guy that they are wanting back, just not at that tender price. So don't be surprised to see him come back on a more affordable deal. This Minkah trade is just one of, we've seen a couple now of these last second trades of guys that were going to be cuts that teams basically want the first right of refusal on. So they're trading very minimal draft capital, late day 3 stuff. We saw the Bills trade Teron Johnson to the Raiders. Was this last night, 2 nights ago? I'm losing track of time. They recently did that. It was Friday a 6th and 7th round swap. Friday night. Okay, so
no,
all
wait,
the way back.
no, never mind. That was a different trade.
Saturday
Max
night, right?
Crosby got traded Friday night from
right.
the Raiders to the Ravens.
Yeah, the Teron Johnson trade was at some point since then, but I'm not positive
Yes.
when. And so now you see the Minka one, which is a 7th round pick compensation. So there's that. There's also Tua Tagovailoa being released by the Dolphins, which is not surprising one bit. He's a guy that I saw. So he made $125 million, or right around there, off his new deal, of which he played less than 1 year. And now the Dolphins are so desperate to get rid of him that they'll take on the largest dead cap hit in NFL history. So congratulations to the Browns for escaping that mantle. Other than that, we have the return of Ricky. I've buried the lead here. Ricky the dog. We were all terrified that they got him, that they put him down over the weekend.
I didn't know that happened.
Oh, you didn't know Ricky got put down? Oh, man.
Well, I learned that basically when Ricky came back, I learned that Ricky was gone. So,
well, he was going crazy at the end of last week, doing his dog reporting things, and then he posted the "I'm in danger" meme, and then immediately deactivated his account. Now, Ricky's a person I've spoken to one-on-one briefly before. I do not know what he looks like. We've messaged back and forth a couple of times.
Oh, and, so you have text or DM'd, not spoken.
Well, okay. Welcome to the digital age, Austin. You can.
Hey, there's a big difference when you're talking about a dog.
No. Okay, fair enough. The point is, I have tried on a private level to be like, Ricky, who are you? And he doesn't tell anybody. I do know that he is somebody that the league, there are folks in the league, serious people in the league that hate this man. Yes. And that are actively hunting the man down. And so he doesn't activate and deactivate his account for funsies. He does it because he is trying to. I mean, he is a person that is in a job that I don't believe is with a specific team that gives him proximity to this information very early, stuff that's going to be coming down the waiver wire, and he reports it, and he is awesome for it, so we appreciate him. But he's come back this morning and said that Trey Hendrickson to the Cowboys is a very likely thing. Before he died over the weekend, was telling us about Wandale Robinson to the Titans, which we'll talk about here in a second. And we now have a trade that came down in the time that I've been speaking, which is the Cowboys being in talks for Rashawn Gary to trade for him, who there was a whole thing on that, whether he was being released or not.
I thought he was released.
He like posted a goodbye to the city of Green Bay, and then he deleted it, and then his agent came out and said that he got hacked, and some hacker put up that very polished graphic, which is very funny. I don't know what this trade. There's still more notifications coming down. So the Packers they are close to finalizing a trade. Basically, the Packers are trading Rashawn Gary to the Cowboys. We don't know what for. I'm going to guess that this is one of those situations where they were going to cut him. Rashawn thought he was getting cut. And then they're like, Rashawn, no, stop.
Which is, I think this is an example of why there is this buffer period, whatever the hell the NFL or we want to call it, the buffer period
negotiating window
of negotiations and chaos before things become official is so you can do things like this, right? Because the Dolphins cut Tua Tagovailoa this morning are going to eat $100 million.
Late 2027 draft pick, the compensation for Gary. Yes, this is, we now have 3 of these. Was going to get cut, but we got a little small thing for it. Trades
rejoining Kenny Clark down there in Dallas on the defensive front. So
that's right.
That was another slightly bigger trade last year between those two.
Slightly bigger. That's right.
So there's a lot of stuff is flying. A lot of things are happening. Happening is actually probably accurate because it's like past and present current tense all at the same time.
Right.
Somebody asked in the chat, well, why are the Titans allergic to trades? Which I find hilarious because not 2 weeks ago, the Titans trade Tavondre Sweat to the Jets for Jermaine Johnson. And they've also shipped away guys at the NFL trade deadline the last couple of years.
Borgonzi traded 3 guys before the deadline last year. He then traded Tavondre in a player-for-player trade 2 weeks ago. What are we talking about?
Yeah, and then not only did Borgonzi do that, the year before that, Rand Carthon traded Kevin Byard to the Eagles mid-year. John Robinson made a bunch of trades. All 3 of these GMs.
DeAndre Hopkins was traded.
DeAndre Hopkins was traded away as well. Yes. Then
Ernest Jones was traded.
Ernest Jones. So
traded 4 and then traded away.
Do you need any more brain busters on this? I can go back.
Trading.
The first move John Robinson made was trading for DeMarco Murray.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of
good trade
weird
too.
stuff. All right. So let's get to the news about the Titans and Wandale Robinson, because there's continuing to be a lot of smoke, and the saying goes, where there is smoke, there is fire. So
this
we will get
fire,
to
man. It's on fire.
all of this. Yeah, that's a different meme that Ricky might tweet out at some point. But where there's smoke, there's fire. So we will get to the new updated, the latest, I guess I would say, about Wan'Dale Robinson. But once again, want to welcome in our great new title sponsor, that is AutoPro Nashville. AutoProNashville.com, providing an assortment of multiple types of highline luxury vehicles completely at competitive prices, with 2 locations in Brentwood and Murfreesboro. Their website, AutoProNashville.com, so you can check that out there. AutoPro Nashville specializes in these gently used high-end inventory with a reputation of providing excellent customer service, multiple financing options, and reliable vehicles to every single customer. You can check out all the reviews to see what everybody is having to say about AutoPro Nashville. If they don't have the vehicle that you're looking for, they go out and find it. Hans is our guy at AutoPro Nashville. To say that somebody is invested in the community and in the sports community of Nashville is not doing Hans enough credit, because Hans talking about youth sports, high school sports, NIL for local athletes, universities, college, and pros. He was telling us names that I will not out here of, whether it's current or former professional football players playing in or around the city of Nashville that stop in, get their vehicle with a great concierge service. And so if you're looking for a high-end luxury vehicle at a competitive price with 30 grand or 300 grand, they could do all of that stuff and in between. Their inventory is phenomenal. It's great to look at. Again, 2 locations, Brentwood and Murfreesboro. Super excited to have AutoPro Nashville joining our team at A to Z Sports. A great day to do it as we break some news with the Titans' new helmets and new uniforms, as that party happens on Thursday evening. And then we kick it into free agency officially. So AutoProNashville.com. Everybody welcome in Hans and his team at AutoProNashville.com. All right, make sure you hit that like button if you're watching on YouTube and Facebook. We got a great big audience this morning on both platforms there. So make sure you hit that like button. Easton, I don't think we have enough likes.
I know we don't have enough likes.
Considering the
free agency Monday.
Considering the amount of live viewers here that are reacting to us talking about the white helmets, white face masks, I had the YouTube poll up there. I'm refreshing the link right now to find out exactly how we're doing on the like ratio, which is just putrid, to be honest.
That's our cover fee around here. That's our door. It's like you're trying to get into the club. They're like $10 tonight. Ours is just a like. Now it's free, but we do require a like to get in the door, I'm afraid.
Scotty Moon, that like button. Far too
many likes.
Many? Few. You think you confused your words?
By the way, wouldn't it be a great bit for now that Rashawn Gary's been traded to just re-upload the exact same image that he got hacked over, the goodbye post? He should just post the exact same thing.
Maybe so. All right, so the latest on Wan'Dale Robinson. It's
Tennessee
not
Titans legend.
New. But this was Sunday evening, Pro Football Talk, Mike Florio. The negotiating window opens at noon Eastern today. There's widespread belief that when it does, Titans will agree to terms with former Giants wide receiver Wan'Dale Robinson. Now, we discussed this a lot last week. We even have this tweet that was still in our files from last week from Connor Hughes. While the Titans are very high on free agent wide receiver Wan'Dale Robinson, there's mutual interest. The Giants will not go down quietly during the legal tampering period. See, it's called there. Tennessee will have to outbid New York if they want. The slot wide receiver caught 92 passes for 1,014 yards and 4 touchdowns last season. So that is the latest on Wan'Dale Robinson. Now, I saw the latest on Wan'Dale Robinson from his Instagram story. He is currently in the Bahamas, which shout out free agency. The agents do the work, and he's just ready to roll. And maybe that tells you how confident he is in his next landing spot. So there's Wan'Dale Robinson there. Then Jeremy Fowler yesterday morning on ESPN.com said the Titans are going to be players in the luxury bin. You know about the AutoPro Nashville. The Titans are shopping at the AutoPro Nashville wide receivers with Wan'Dale Robinson, Alec Pierce, and Romeo Doubs from the Green Bay Packers. So Jeremy Fowler linked the Titans to all 3 of those high-priced, the biggest guys on the wide receiver market. So
a lot of spraying and praying going on this weekend. Austin.
So how do you feel about this? Because I saw as soon as we started the show and knowing that this Wandale Robinson deal feels like it's just been done already.
I mean,
but I saw Tom Pelissero saying that the Titans are what team to watch for Alec Pierce if he gets out of Indianapolis.
No.
So
no and no.
Okay, Easton, your reaction to the Wandale Robinson smoke and then the continued tweets and reporting about the other receivers, Alec Pierce and Romeo Doubs.
Well, first of all, our biggest bit of breaking news of the morning, JT has woken. It is 8:41. He is now with us. Welcome to the world, my friend. It's Free Agency Monday lock-in. Number 2.
And time out. Even if the time did not change yesterday, he would be late.
He'd still be late. I'm just glad this time it's not me. The other bit of news, this is kind of wild. Minkah Fitzpatrick, as a part of his trade, gets a 3-year, $40 million extension. So, wow. I mean, how old is he? Anyways, the Wandale thing, we always joke about like, well, a lot of these deals were done. You know, these insiders had these deals laid out in their tweet drafts at the Combine 2 weeks ago. And I think that gets a little bit overblown. But there are obviously some of these deals that have been wink, wink, nod, nod, virtual hand shooken on ahead of time because of the fact that the second the clock strikes 11 Central Time today, there are going to be a flurry of significant contracts with ironed out details released immediately. So they've been discussed. And Wandale is, I feel comfortable saying, and not reporting, I feel very comfortable saying he is one of those deals that's been done. So the question isn't whether the Titans will land him today to me. The question is, what's that number going to be? And it might hit like a bus, Austin. We have talked about this. I'm not trying to be the party pooper today. If Alec Pierce is getting what we're seeing him expected to get, which is in the $27 to $30 million a year range, I won't be surprised if Wandale Robinson is the second highest paid receiver on the market. Because what's the competition? Romeo Doubs, it doesn't seem like he's going to get quite as much as Wandale. Mike Evans, at his age, you can't imagine he's probably getting as much as, maybe on a very, very short-term deal, he gets slightly more, as kind of like one of those really high, guaranteed, low-term contracts for a veteran. But if the top guy's coming in close to 30, I've seen a lot in the last week of Wandale at 15. I think even the article this morning, right? Was it the Monday morning quarterback article this morning talking about this, where the number they flashed was 15 a year for Wandale? And listen, if he comes in at or around 15 a year, as I said last week, I'm going to be indifferent on that move because I think it's bad process in general, but I can understand the specifics of this situation, the familiarity, the age, etc., the need. If it's that cheap, I will be slightly happier than indifferent. I'll be like, okay, I get it. That is a perfectly reasonable amount of money in 2026 to be paying who is really a slot wide receiver too. Now, he's not a slot only guy. I've seen some people say that he's slot only. Not true, right? Like he played 900 some odd snaps last year and 400 of them came outside of the slot, so on the boundary. That was in necessity for a large part of the season because of Malik's Neighbors' injury. But the point is he proved that he can hang on the outside. Is he at his best out there? No, but he's not somebody like, and sorry to Xavier Restrepo, he's not like Restrepo where it's like this guy has to play out of the slot in terms of matchups. Wandale is a little bit better than that. But he is still a guy that's going to live in the slot a lot if you have a healthy unit and you're maximizing his efforts. And so, close to $20 million is a big difference to me in terms of how much you are paying a guy that's going to be a slot wide receiver too. I don't know if the money is going to change your opinion on this, Austin, very much, because I don't think we have exactly the same general feelings on this news. But to me, the money will be all the difference today now that I'm basically assuming it'll get done. What does that look like? Because if that number starts with a 2, which I'm still suspicious it will.
It's going to. It's going to. And the NFL free agency is always what you think it's going to be, add $2 to $5 million.
Especially when you have to pay the suck tax like the Titans do.
But this doesn't feel like the suck tax. Because
maybe it's balanced out by the fact that there's familiarity there and he wants to be with his boy Dable, maybe.
And he's leaving another sucky place. that had really, really sucky taxes.
This is true.
Literal
suck tax.
Have any taxes.
Like, whether it's suck tax or not, the bottom line is if he gets at or near or north of 20, like the number I've heard internally is somewhere between 19 to 21 million AAV, which again, I'll be so pleased to be wrong about. I'm not reporting that. That's just like kind of what I'm expecting.
Yeah.
It's going to hit like a freight train, man. That's bad process. It is. It's bad process.
The thing that you could always say is, well, it's not about what's the actual number. Is it the number the agent puts out there or the number the team gives away in guaranteed dollars, right? Because the agent is going to include the fluffiest total number, AAV, for their client at all times because they should. It's the guaranteed.
So here, I'm going to guess the AAV is 20-ish. And that's what they flout, and it's like, wow, look at all this money for Wandale. And then Borgonzi structures it to where it's a 3 or 4 year deal with a team out after 2 years and a relatively lower number of guaranteed money, which, again, that's just me kind of hope casting. I think once we see the guarantees and the cash flow year over year, beyond year 2, it's going to be like, okay. Because Wandale right now is a 25-year-old, I believe, 26.
Yeah, he's young, 25.
Yeah, so I again, like I said last week, I won't be surprised. This is exactly the kind of contract, and this is just history. I'm not preying on this downfall. It's the kind of contract you hand out, and then within 1 to 2 years, we look back on it and we're like, that was a mistake. Hopefully, it's not that big of a mistake. Hopefully, Wandale comes here at whatever price tag, proves himself to be a perennial 1,000-yard receiver and a useful part of the offense, ingratiates himself, and because he's young, maybe he just becomes a Titans legend and is here for years and years. I'd love for this to be the case. I know the reality.
The thing that I like, and I said this on Friday's show, I believe, the thing that I like about the Wan'Dale Robinson situation with the Titans is that there is an instant comfort level with a lot of investment, right? Usually when you're making an investment, whatever the hell it is, what just made your eyes go big?
These insiders have been so bad about trade compensation. Okay. I don't know if you picked up on this. Like they keep saying it's roughly this, and then the actual details come out, and it's like, what? So these guys 10 minutes ago reported that it was going to be late 2027 draft capital for Rashawn Gary. It's a 4th-round pick.
Yeah.
What are we talking about?
Well, yeah. I mean, anyway. So with Wan'Dale Robinson, until this year, like right now, for the first time ever, NFL teams can choose 5 free agents that they can have a Zoom or a phone call with for a maximum of an hour up until Wednesday at 3 Central, right? So during this buffer tampering, negotiating legal time frame, you can have 5 hours of conversation with 5 individuals for no longer than an hour each.
Right.
And so that's a lot of hope. And trust me, bro, that you're in relationships with agents, that you're putting just your homework of draft evaluation in the past and all these things, that you're making sure that you say, if the Titans give Vic Beasley $10 million, is it going to be okay? Right? If the Titans sign Bud Dupree for like $80+ million on 4-year deal, how's it going to go coming off an ACL? Those are 2 horrible, horrible contracts that played out terribly for John Robinson and this team. So with the Wan'Dale Robinson situation, you have Brian Daboll here, who drafted Wan'Dale Robinson in the 2nd round out of Kentucky when he was the head coach of the Giants. He watched Wan'Dale grow. He knows the system. I said this on Friday. Brian Daboll wanted Cam Ward so badly to last year's draft for the Giants with Wan'Dale Robinson. And now he is your offensive coordinator because he wants Cam Ward so bad on his resume. And so if you want Cam Ward to work so bad, then Wan'Dale Robinson is a great opportunity for you to plug and play and increase the floor immediately with relative simplicity, not ease, but simplicity, because the familiarity makes that where you can skip chapter 1 and 2 maybe, and you just jump into you don't have to go through syllabus week, I guess.
Right.
So that's why I think Wan'Dale Robinson makes the most sense. And why I'm okay with whatever the extra, bidding war you're going to get into. The other question that I have about the Wan'Dale Robinson situation is, we know that Alec Pierce has a competitive market.
Very.
What is the cult? what is the competition for Wan'Dale Robinson outside the Giants and the Titans? Is there a third team? Because also, I'm going to say to interrupt that statement with parentheses, the Titans name will be used in so many other conversations about players that the Titans don't want to bring in. Why? Because the Titans have currently actually the third most cap space in the NFL. The Raiders, with moves they've made, Max Crosby trade, cutting Geno Smith, have the most. The Chargers have more than the Titans, barely right now. But the Titans and the Raiders names will be attached to all of these, so-and-so is included, because that agent says, this other team with more money than you wants my guy too. And so where is there other competition outside the Giants and the Titans for Wan'Dale? It's a hypothetical. I don't know. I haven't really seen much.
That's
other than
why,
the vague other suitors that Connor Hughes mentioned.
Well, this is hard to put a finger on without inside information, right? Because Wan'Dale is one of those guys that we think is not, I mean, maybe I'm wrong. I don't feel like he is truly testing the market in the same way as maybe some other guys are. I think he is interested in coming to Tennessee because of the connection and because they have money and because they want him. And so I'm sure his agent has asked around and like seen what his number is roughly. And like, I just don't think he's the bidding war guy like Alec Pierce is in this class, but I could be wrong. I don't know. I to your point, I have not seen Wan'Dale connected to other teams because basically since the combine, any insider you talk to has said the worst kept secret in the league is that Wan'Dale's going to Tennessee. So I was doing the math on this sitting here. We've talked about how cap inflation makes these numbers feel like funny money and you have to do percentage of the cap, not just pure AAV. In comparison to Calvin Ridley, for example, who Ridley was signed to a 4-year, $92 million deal in 2024. That is $23 million a year AAV. At the time, that was a little over 9% of the cap. If Wan'Dale comes in today, and I don't know if this is going to be the number or not, but let's just high end. Let's say he comes in at $21 million a year. That is just under 7% of the cap today. So it's not like it's not apples for apples. And those contracts in the 20s aren't as painful to your overall book as they used to be. It's still a lot of money though. It's still a big percentage.
People bring this up in the chat too, and we'll get back to the Wan'Dale and furthering, and we'll take the next step about the Titans wide receivers too, because a lot of things are going to change here in real time as we were live basically every morning this week. Terry McCormick tweeted this 7 minutes ago. Trey Hendrickson and Romeo Doubs are two of the big-time free agents who have the Titans on their radar, but the issue may be how much and how many big-ticket items the Titans will spend on early in free agency. So I've also heard Trey Hendrickson with the Titans, but I don't believe that. I don't believe that at all. And I'm not trying to take a shot at Terry. I'm not doing that at all. But I'm just saying that the Trey Hendrickson situation, the Titans being linked to Trey Hendrickson, is what I was just talking about. That sounds like Trey Hendrickson's camp trying to make the Cowboys pay more money.
Correct. Trey Hendrickson, right? Alec Pierce, both of these guys ain't no way Titans guys.
I think the Titans are interested in Alec Pierce.
I think they're interested in both of them at a number that they've presented, and that number is not even remotely close to the right number.
Okay.
Not even remotely.
Let's get to this conversation here because Lim Dawes sets us up beautifully.
Thank you.
Beautifully for our next question that we already had planned. Is there any price point for Robinson that will make it more likely they keep Calvin Ridley? And so our next question is exactly that. What does it mean for Calvin Ridley if the Titans sign Wan'Dale Robinson or another large wide receiver investment? So it is an open-ended question. This is not a poll type question. I will update the helmet face mask poll results currently here in a minute. But the question is, if the Titans sign Wan'Dale Robinson or another large wide receiver investment, what does that mean for Calvin Ridley? We'll update that situation here in a moment. But Easton, first tell us all about our great friends at the Bone and Joint Institute.
The Bone and Joint Institute of Tennessee. They are the region's destination for comprehensive orthopedics and sports medicine. Check them out in my neck of the woods down here in Franklin. Just a hop and a skip from downtown Nashville. Hop on I-65 South. Head on down. You can't miss it. It's right off the interstate. A big, beautiful building that houses over a dozen specialists who can help you through any type of injury. They have a state-of-the-art rehab facility on campus to help you with your recovery, and Bone & Joint does it all under one roof for your convenience. Clinic, testing, imaging, surgery, rehab. Schedule an appointment today with our friends at boneandjointtn.org.
And as we said, props and welcome in to our brand new title sponsor, as you guys will get to know, AutoPro Nashville, with 2 locations in Brentwood and Murfreesboro. AutoProNashville.com is the website. Hans is our guy over there at AutoPro Nashville, and we're super pumped to have them as our title sponsor of the morning show. Multiple types of high-line luxury vehicles at competitive prices with those 2 locations, Brentwood and Murfreesboro. So if you're looking for a concierge-type service for your luxury vehicle needs, AutoProNashville.com is where to go. And they don't just do the high-priced luxury vehicles. They actually have the competitive prices at 30 grand, 30K. Is what they have on there, 30K plus. And that plus can be whatever you want it to be, because they will go find that car that you are looking for across the country, because they do that with their customer service. You can check out all of their great reviews on the website. But all the different services they have, we'll continue to talk more about. You can do with your current vehicle, regardless of what you're looking for. They got you covered with all of the customization features at AutoProNashville.com, new title sponsor. So shout out to Hans and his team there. So, maybe make sure you like the show. Robert asked, what's the latest with the center position? We will get to that here momentarily. Probably going to have long shows overall this week, but warranted. So if the Titans sign Wan'Dale Robinson or another big investment at wide receiver, like they're expected to, what does that mean for big time salary cap hit veteran Calvin Ridley, coming off of a broken leg? Calvin Ridley's cap hit is $26 million this year. That is the largest on the team. If the Titans cut Calvin Ridley pre-June 1st, it'll count $13 million of dead money this year. So they save $13 million of cap space, almost 14, if they cut Calvin this year. And then they have $13 million on next year's dead cap too. So you're splitting that 26 and a half basically. So if they sign Wandale for 20 to 23, I don't know. What does that mean for Calvin Ridley? I'll send you to the chat here as I tell you the YouTube poll. 55% of the audience likes the white face mask on the white helmet.
Oh, wow. I'm surprised
55%.
It's that low.
Pretty low. Pretty low considering that is a easy thing to like. So there's that.
You'd think.
Yeah, you'd think. It's true.
Apparently not. Let's see. I'm trying to find where we even asked this question.
Did you put it
send
in the
it?
chat? No, that's your job.
I didn't send it. But I can find where people started to answer it anyways. Here we go. No, just kidding. That's not it either. Here we go. No. Found it. Ridley got to go. Says, hello, ladies. Jason asks, is Snead cut yet? No, not yet. Matthew says, don't cut Ridley unless we desperately need the money. He can still make an impact. 18 million is the number that AI Sheet is looking for Wandale to make him think that Ridley might be a cut candidate. Keep him. He's under contract, says Scott Weaver in his top hat. Johnny just chimes in and says he'd rather have Jalen Naylor than Wan'Dale Robinson. You might have both. Well, let's just see. There's a chance. I have no idea what Naylor's market's going to be. Rooney thinks a restructure could be in order for.
So
Ridley.
let's again. I feel like under the AutoPro Nashville logo up there, we should just have another like PSA. Restructure doesn't mean pay cut.
Right.
Or what
you
restructure.
You can do a pay cut. You have to agree to that.
Yes. What a restructure means is you're giving the player more signing bonus right now to manipulate their salary cap hit. So if you want to restructure Calvin Ridley, you can do that. But that just means that you're going to give Calvin Ridley like another, $8 million of cash right now coming off a broken leg.
Right.
So if you want to restructure Calvin Ridley, you can save some cap space.
That's right. At what cost? Tall Texan says Ridley and Robinson play different positions. Need them both. They are definitely cutting him, says Jamar. The rates says we need to keep Ridley at least another year. He is perfectly serviceable. Can't fill every hole. Calvin, be gone, says Randy. Calvin was a bust, says hello, ladies. Eric says none of this affects Ridley. I think he's staying on the team. Curtis says Ridley can stay, but hopefully they don't need to rely on him. Sean says cut. So Billy says cut. We're all over the place in the chat, Austin.
All over the place.
All over the place.
All over it. So I put out the reel over the weekend because people are like, why is Snead not cut? Why is Ridley not cut? Cut Tony Pollard. So there is no real need for urgency to cut any of those guys. However, there
is a date that creates urgency. We're not there. It's the fifth day of the new league year where their guarantees
yeah, but that's just a
activate.
$1 million roster bonus. So that's all that is.
Not for Snead.
For Ridley.
Right. I know. We're talking about both these guys. Snead's number is I don't know what it is off the top of my head. It is a sizable enough number to where you can bet your bottom dollar that he will not be on the roster by the time that guarantee locks in.
Okay.
Ain't no way.
Snead's maybe, and I'm letting that page load, but Ridley's $1 million roster bonus is due the 5th day of the league year, which is this Sunday coming. I mean,
listen, they won't want to pay that either if they're not keeping him, but it's not a giant deal breaker.
Snead's and this is legitimately $7.5 million. So that's it. So L'Jarius Snead will be cut this week, right?
Has to be.
You have to cut him before this upcoming Sunday.
Right.
Calvin
Ridley. Is that
Ridley,
what it is, by the way? Fifth day of the new league year?
What it says. 5th day of the league year. Mm-hmm.
5th. Okay, yeah.
$7.5 million fully guarantees the 5th day of 2026 league year.
Right.
So yeah, you don't want that. But Calvin Ridley, at $1 million roster bonus, that's a non-issue in your decision making for the most part.
If your decision making is based on insurance policy or receiver, right?
Right. Because I, in my opinion, I don't want the Titans to cut Calvin Ridley or Tony Pollard until they know for sure they're going to be totally cool without him.
Mm-hmm.
And does Wandale Robinson do that for you? Because as somebody in the chat put, Wandale Robinson and Calvin Ridley do different things as wide receivers. Because I put out on social media, the Instagram, whatever, over the weekend about Wan'Dale Robinson, why he's good. And they're like, he's only look at his yards per catch and, compared to Pierce and all this stuff. I'm like it's a different role. Like Alec Pierce and Wan'Dale Robinson are a different role. Alec Pierce and Calvin Ridley are more the same. Right.
Right.
So I think if you sign Wan'Dale Robinson, you should.
What did you say? Wan'Dale and Pierce or Ridley and Pierce?
Ridley and Pierce.
Ridley
and Pierce are the same type of role. They can coexist, but they're
more of the same. I mean,
yeah,
Alex
they
is
can
a lot bigger than Calvin.
I think Calvin Ridley can coexist with anybody they want to bring in.
Yes,
at wide receiver. I believe that.
It's a money thing. It's a cap space thing in particular, and this is why I think he's going to get cut. The more that we did him on the show here live, I've done them behind the scene. The more I've done the math on what an off season could look like for this team, and we're going to talk in a minute about how I think that their spending habits will lead to this player acquisition cycle looking and feeling different than the 2024 one, where they had a very, very similar situation. But they're still going to have to spend a significant amount of money because they have so many holes to fill, and it gets pretty daggum tough to do what it feels like the Titans need to do this offseason, even if they're frugal, even if they're conservative with free agents, without freeing up that space. I'm with you where I would like for him to be here unless they're certain they don't need him. I'm not sure there are many scenarios in which they get to a place where they are certain they don't need him. I would like for him to be around. I just don't know if the money makes sense. I really don't.
I mean, you're still having to have him count $13 million. So are you going to sign, what are you using the 13.7 of cap space for, right? Is it 2 players, 3 players?
Yeah, I mean,
and one of those being a bargainish receiver.
Couple cornerbacks. Yeah, I mean, it's
2 corners and a receiver that are
meaningful
replacement level.
Yeah, and that's what gets us to an even larger topic. Because we're right here on the precipice of things happening, and we feel pretty certain about Wandale, spoiler to our question about what I'm going to go ahead and take that one off the table, by the way, because we're going to ask a question in a minute. Like, what do you think is the most likely thing the Titans do?
Yeah,
Wandale's not available. Like, we're all pretty sure of that.
In that,
right. So other than that, we're very unsure, right?
So I wanted to ask this question because I thought of something before the show and I've held it to the 50th minute. So not everybody hears it on the replay, even though we have a huge audience right now.
Chat, don't clip this.
So do not clip this, Kevin.
This is just between us, chat. Lean in.
Yes. Could the Titans sign 2 of those 3 receivers? Wandale Robinson, Alec Pierce, and Romeo Doubs? Could they sign 2 of them?
Well, so what we're talking about here is signing Wandale and Doubs because Pierce is not going to be available.
Okay. Because he's a what? Colt?
Because he's a Colt. But also, all joking aside, you can't sign Wandale and Pierce. Like, money-wise, you cannot. You cannot. Can you cut Calvin Ridley, sign Wan'Dale Robinson, and Romeo Doubs at wide receiver? I mean, you can make it work. I'm not asking, can you afford to do it? Yeah, what's the question? Can you or should you? Like literally, can you? They can technically, yes.
Yes, so I'm not asking that. It's more of a, could they do it? Or would that just be overkill? Because in my opinion, I think if you're going to cut Calvin Ridley, Wandale Robinson isn't enough.
I agree, but
I don't think Wandale Robinson and Jalen. I don't think Wan'Dale Robinson and like a Jalen Naylor is enough.
Oh, I do. Enough ahead of the draft. I'm still taking a round 2, round 3 at the latest.
You're still taking a high a top 100.
I am drafting a receiver I'm expecting to start week 1. I am.
Okay, so you're cutting Calvin Ridley
in free agency. I think they need one significant starter and one guy that could be a starter if you needed him. And so that is a Jalen Naylor to me. Doubs is again, I don't have a great finger on the pulse of like what Doubs is going to come at.
Nobody does. It's going to be, I think it's close to Wandale.
I do too, because Mr. Clean said this earlier, Doubs over Wandale. If they were the same price, I would rather have Doubs than Wandale. Which I say quietly because the Titans are about to have Wandale. No offense to Wandale. I think Wandale's a very good player. If all things were equal, I would rather have Doubs. And I'll be, if they come in at or near the same number, Austin, I'm going to have some opinions on that.
See, here's the one thing Lee says, don't sign Doubs. He has the dropsies. The one thing that I don't necessarily want Romeo Doubs for is that he wears the Guardian cap in games.
That's a crazy reason to not want somebody.
With a white helmet and a white face mask, that thing is going to look like Toad on Mario Kart. It's going to be
it all looks like Toad. Yeah.
No, but white helmets with a white Guardian cap,
no aura.
That makes it look even bigger. Like if you look at people that wear white shoes, their feet look huge.
I hear you. It's goofy, but it also protects his brain, and I understand.
And that needs to be protected at all costs.
That's right.
Protect people's brains at all costs.
I agree. So like if you look up his calculated market value on SpoTrack, it's like $5 million less per year than Wandale, which I just kind of have a hard time understanding. If that's the case, I'm going to really wish they'd had Doubs over Wandale. But to your question of could they get both, like if Wandale's going to be, let's just go by exactly SpoTrack's estimate. If Wandale's going to be 17 and Doubs is going to be 12, no, you can't do that.
You can't even do that?
Even if you cut Ridley,
you can't.
Not with how much this team needs.
If there's 30 million combined, you're not doing it.
No.
I think
it's bad process, man. You're gonna. It's one thing to overpay one receiver.
But you're cutting Calvin.
You need receiver. You're now choosing to overpay 2 receivers.
So I think my opinion overall is that if they sign Wandale Robinson, I think they should keep Calvin Ridley. One more year.
So I already agree with you on that. I'd like for them to. I just think financially they probably are going to think that they can't. And I get that. Because when you do it yourself, you're like, yeah, I get it. You run out of money pretty quick. I would like Calvin to be here. For the record.
Okay. For the record, you got that.
I would like him to be here.
I think they have one, just keep him for one more year. And then you can cut him and move on after next season. And the dead money is not as impactful as it is now. And Cam enjoys playing with Calvin. Calvin enjoys playing with Cam. We've seen it work. It was working. And then both injuries to Calvin Ridley happened to ruin all that momentum. He had the big performance, well over 100 yards and making spectacular catches against Arizona. And then in the next game, he pulls the hamstring against the Raiders. And then he's out for a month. Then he comes back. The first play on offense from scrimmage, Cam hits Calvin Ridley on a play action dart over the middle, and he breaks his leg. And you're like, dang it. Like, because if you look at what Calvin Ridley was doing, the pace that he was on through the games that he played is he was going to be well over 1,000 yards if that was the pace and he played a full season. And you and I saw that with our eyes throughout training camp, the connection that those two guys have on the field, throwing and catching. And Calvin is the only guy, Wandale Robinson included, who is able to make these spectacular catches that Cam Ward likes to throw.
Yeah, I hate acquiring free agent receivers. When was the last awesome free agent receiver signing? And don't go say Stephon Diggs, because they signed him to a 3-year, $63 million contract. They paid him $23 million a year, and now he's gone after year one. Like, he got barely to 1,000 yards. There aren't success stories when it comes to top end receivers signed in free agency. There just aren't. At receiver in particular, please you need to, every single year, GM Easton is drafting a wide receiver in rounds 2, 3, or 4. At least one receiver in rounds 2, 3, or 4 every single season. Just throw bodies at it, throw mid-round picks at it, quit paying guys too much. They're plentiful in the draft. Go get them. Draft receivers.
I agree. And people are dropping AJ Brown. Those are trades. You can trade for a receiver.
Yes.
And not work out.
Not what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Yeah. And
the free agency, top of the market free agency receivers we're talking about Kenny Golladay and Calvin Ridley and Christian Kirk. How did those work out? All of them disappointed.
But
go find another top of the market signing recently, because there are value receivers where you're like, yeah, they paid him $10 million and they got about that much out of him. That's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about guys that were paid to be the top receiver, and they just never are.
All right. So what percentage?
Jason, the answer to your question is Jeremiah. Not Jeremiah Smith. Carnell Tate.
Tyreek Hill was traded for, right? George Pickens was traded for. Correct. A lot of you guys are bringing up traded for receivers.
You are proving that, yes, you can trade for good receivers. This is true.
All right. So I think Wandale Robinson with Calvin Ridley plus a receiver that doesn't change my draft needs for receiver at all still. But I think I like the idea of Ridley and Robinson working pretty well. And then you continue to develop Chimdike and Ellick as your young pieces with insert day 2 draft pick here.
Also, impromptu question for the chat. Chat, chime in on this. What is the number, since we're seemingly hours or minutes away from this happening, what is the number at which you are no longer approving of the Wandale signing? In other words, like if we find out Wandale comes in at X amount of dollars, you go, I don't approve of that.
I honestly don't know. I mean, realistically, that I actually think is going to happen, because I can throw out like 30 and knowing that there's no shot.
No, don't think realistically. Like
the lowest
your personal opinion,
possible.
GM Austin. No, the lowest number that you are no longer approving of.
Like 25?
Oh, dude. For me, it's like 17.
That's crazy. That's just not realistic, dude.
Yeah, realistically, I don't want to sign Wan'Dale Robinson
at all.
I think it's bad process. I don't approve of what they're about to do.
So what do you want them to do at receiver? What free agent receiver do you want the Titans to add then?
Well, if Doubs is really going to be at 15 or
he's
under,
going to be at 17 or 18 or 19.
Okay, hang on. I'm saying if you can get him at that, then I would go in on that. If he's going to be somewhere in that 18, 19, $20 million range, I'd pass on that too. I would go for somebody like maybe Jawan Jennings, somebody in that tier or lower. Rashid Shaheed, I don't know what his number is going to be. Find somebody for 15 or less who's going to be your 2 or your 3, and you sign them to be that. And then again, you draft a round 1, round 2, or round 3 receiver. You draft a guy to be your day 1. That's what I would do. I'd draft 2 of them in the first 4 rounds.
I think all of that I agree with. I just think your numbers are not reset for the current cap situation and the market. Like you're working off of like 2 off seasons ago numbers.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm. Shut up. That's not true. I literally am saying find the best receiver you can get at 15 or less and get him. I did not say Doubs is going to be that. In fact, I began the show with saying his market's at 12, but I don't believe that. I said that. Okay. Don't gaslight me.
All right,
Jawan could come in at 15. I don't know. He could come in at more. I'm just saying, like, find the best guy in that range, get him, and then draft a guy high.
The reason why I say 25 is because I don't like whatever that number is phony money too. Like it's not gonna he's not actually gonna get all.
Yeah, I just wanted this on the record. So if Wandale Robinson, and I don't think this is gonna happen, if he comes in today at 24 million, $1 million more a year than Calvin was, Austin's gonna be approving of that. That's crazy.
I'm okay. It doesn't. No, $1 million more than Calvin was 2 years ago. Okay.
So you approve of that? Okay, just for the record.
I mean, that's not.
I'm glad
considering you're getting a 1,000-yard receiver.
You're getting a slot wide receiver too. Is what you're getting.
No, he's not slot only. Remember, you told me that.
I didn't say slot only. I said slot.
Okay.
But he's a slot. He's 5'8", Austin. He's my height. He's 5'8".
Yeah, but that dude gets open and he makes life easier.
Yes,
for
he does, and he's going to be useful. He's going to be a useful, overpaid receiver.
And you just pretend like Cam is getting some of Wandale's money because that's basically what you're doing. Like you're paying Wandale to pay Cam. He's gonna, so that's my point.
And again, this is why I'm like, no matter what I say, I'm going to get ripped for this because like I think it's a bad contract for a player that is. I'm pretty like I like Wandale. I think he's a good player. If and when they sign him, I'm going to be very confident that he's going to make an impact for this team. He's going to be good for Cam. I'll be glad they have him if I do this about the numbers. But the numbers are real.
But Wandale probably won't be here in 2029. Whether it's a 4-year deal or
I mean, sure, yeah, 2029, or probably not.
Or 28. Right. I mean, 28
odds,
could be
right.
Right. I mean, you could move on from him in 2 years as you're paying.
That's not the point. It's not about like being able to get out of the contract. It's Ryan in the comment or in our chat. He says, biggest lie I've heard today. Easton claiming he's 5'8". I am 5'8". Ryan, chud. Yeah, I just
hey. Easy.
Ryan's a chud. I'll say it. Put that on the record too.
Okay. We have some super chats to get to because then I want to get to our next question.
Okay.
Because
we're at the hour mark.
Yeah, I know. We got a long week ahead.
Coming up in hour 2.
Yeah, we're already in hour 2. Big super chat says, I understand the money issue, but Ward needs reliability at the top of on top of draft talent. No wide receiver on the current roster is reliable. 90 catches for 750 is still happy. For 750, 90 catches for. I don't understand. Because he had 90 catches for 1,000.
Jim's numbers from last year or something.
I'm not entirely sure.
Okay.
But another super chat comes in. If Robinson helps, Ward takes the next step and is gone next year. We're 30 million. I don't care. You can get a reliable vet from a 2nd-round rookie. Again, both those comments. I don't know, man. What's going on with those?
Let's proofread our super chats.
I accidentally King VC had a super chat.
He's saying 750 yards this year. He'd be satisfied with on 90 receptions. I think that's some crazy cope, man. I think if you pay a receiver $25+ million a year and you get 750 yards out of them this year, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Averaging 8 1/3 per catch. That's not gonna happen. The
expectation for Wandale, whether he comes in at 18 or 20 or 22, is going to be get to 1,000 yards this year, bare minimum, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
and I think they can do that because you're signing a guy who did it in the offense of the guy calling the plays last year. Even though that guy
will be overpaid, just draft receivers, man. Just draft receivers.
Yeah, do both. Do both. All right. So I accidentally exited out of the super chat from King VC. So pretend that King VC has a super chat on the screen.
Y'all know the deal, King.
That says lock in like the show. So lock in like the show. I apologize for that. Okay. Here's the next question. What are you most confident in the Titans doing in free agency this week? What are you most confident in the Titans actually doing in free agency this week?
Releasing new jerseys.
Yeah, right. Not including Wan'Dale Robinson. Wandale Robinson does not count. You cannot answer Wan'Dale Robinson with this question. But what are you most confident in the Titans doing this week in free agency? But first, Easton, tell everybody about our friends at Window Nation.
Yeah, ZD, you're dead to me, buddy. Window Nation, check them out today. They've got a new deal going on this month, which is 50% off of all window styles. Whether
Bang,
you
bang.
are... Sorry?
I said bang, bang.
Oh, indeed. Austin knows the deal with Window Nation because he has firsthand gone through this experience. He has called 866-90Nation, or maybe he went to windownation.com. I'm not sure which. And he had them
windownation.com. I went to windownation.com.
Okay. But you can also call the number, 866-90Nation. Yeah. And either way, you'll be able to schedule a fast and free estimate with the pros at Window Nation. They come to your house. They show you little demonstrations. Austin has described it as like a science experiment. They show you what you're going to get with these windows, and they walk you through all your options, of which there are many. And again, 50% off of those windows if you buy them. There's no pressure, no obligation, no payment for that consultation. They'll come and talk to you. And if you want to take some time to think about it, or if you just want to pass for now, they are happy to have been heard out. So you will appreciate the work that they offer to you. And frankly, now's the time, Austin, to improve the value of your home. Get some 50% off windows today from our friends at windownation.com.
Also, shout out to our great new title sponsor, our new friends on the block, Hans and his team at AutoPro Nashville. AutoProNashville.com is the website. 2 locations in Brentwood and Murfreesboro. Invested in the community, invested in the sports community, whether it's youth sports, high school, college, NIL, and in the pro athletes around the area. If you're looking for that high-end luxury vehicle that's gently used for a very competitive price that you can live in your style, right? And right there, AutoProNashville.com is the website. There's so many other services they have for your current vehicle, regardless of how luxury or not luxury it is. AutoPro Nashville can still make you feel comfortable and stylish in your ride. Hans, great guy, great team there. Can't wait to continue to meet more of them and learn more about them and have you guys be introduced to what all they can do for you with your rides. AutoProNashville.com is their website. Easton, to the chat you go. What are you most confident in the Titans doing this week in free agency?
I am
not including Wandale Robinson.
Right. Here we go. Robbie says, signing a center, which I think is a very safe bet. Wise choice on Robbie's part. I believe they will sign a center. Which center? Let's talk about that in a second. CW agrees. Signing a center. JFM, says Raw. John Franklin Myers, the guy who we are all expecting to be a Tennessee Titan, which, by the way, let's put a pin in that because that number, Austin, that number is going to be a little higher than folks are expecting. It's going to come in a little hot. Cutting Pollard, says the Bear. Signing depth pieces, says King. Quincy Williams, a crazy pull from Halo Rail fan. Signing JFM, clearing up cap space. Linderbaum. John Franklin Myers. Kick It to the King asks a separate question. Is the uniform reveal going to be live streamed? A question I've already gotten once. I am efforting an answer on this. I will let you all know on the show and on Twitter as soon as I know the answer. I would guess yes, Austin. Like, surely they don't want to gatekeep the reveal for the 4,500 people in the room. I'm going to guess they are showing it off somehow, but I don't know. We'll find out.
Because this is like, we don't really know anything about this event other than it's
Thursday
at
night.
the Pinnacle downtown on Thursday night. That's literally what we know.
Right.
We know way more about the actual uniforms than we do the event about the uniforms.
Yes. I don't even know for sure who's going to be allowed to go. That's how little we know.
Season ticket holders.
Well, yeah, in terms of, I'm not worried about them. Worried about me.
That's what I'm saying. Like, again, we know more about the uniforms than the event.
True. Jeff says he's most confident in them screwing it up and overpaying somebody, which always the optimist. Big Ten Jeff. Wandale and JFM overpaying an offensive lineman is what he's certain is going to happen. That's John signing a center. So some of the most obvious answers in here are JFM and signing a center. Austin, where do we want to begin? Do we want to talk about the Linderbaum thing? Because a minute ago, I saw Jonathan Jones of CBS saying that we are mere minutes away at this point from Tyler Linderbaum, as he put it, smashing the record for highest paid center.
Which that's currently what, like $18 million for Creed Humphrey?
I think so. Sounds right.
So smashing.
It's not in the 20s, and it looks like Linderbaum's going to come in the 20s. So.
Yeah, so smashing by what? Does it have to be $3 million over that to be smashing the record?
Yeah, it's a good question. I don't know.
Define what's the gap to smash the record? The
Multiple
Linderbaum,
millions, I'd say.
The center market, I feel like, has been something that nobody really expected to be this wild. Like,
yeah, man.
Teams are changing centers more often than things not named head coach and offensive coordinator this year. Like,
it seems to be that way. Yeah.
I mean, maybe. Are there going to be more new starting centers than new head coaches?
No. Because there'll be a new one in LA, new one in Vegas, new one in Tennessee, new one in Chicago, Washington,
Hold on.
Baltimore. I've got
LA?
6.
Chargers?
Yeah, I've got 6. I just counted out loud.
Chargers, Vegas, Titans, Falcons.
Falcons?
I think you said Falcons.
No, I didn't say Falcons.
Oh, so Chargers,
as far as I know, not the Falcons.
Vegas, Titans,
Ravens,
Bears, Commanders, Bears, Patriots.
Right. Did the Browns need a new center? Am I tripping on that?
Yes.
Browns, Dolphins. Wait, Dolphins.
Browns.
Not Dolphins.
Yeah. Aaron Brewer probably gone.
You think so? To where?
He's somewhere not running.
I know he's a free agent. I just think they're going to bring him back.
Yeah, but they got to bring him back to not run the Mike McDaniel system where a 250-pound center works.
He's not only good in the Mike system. He's a good center.
Okay, so the Dolphins could be 9.
Okay, the point is
the Bills. The Bills.
It's close, though. The
or
Bills don't.
Keeping McGovern keeps it from being 10, which is the number of head coaches. So it's
Niners,
pretty close.
Is that right? Did the Niners need a center? Maybe. I don't know. It's roughly,
Pretty
it's
close.
a lot of centers. It's the point. It's a lot of centers.
Yeah.
But Austin, do you think Linderbaum is actually a guy that they're targeting? Because I, over the weekend, have had my mind changed. I don't, I mean, I think.
Panthers maybe.
Maybe. Yeah, true.
So we're at like either 10 or 11 based on a couple things.
Okay, we get it. There's a lot of centers. This is not good radio. What's important is, are the Titans going to be in on Linderbaum? And
Aaron Brewer's still under contract. Sorry.
Holy cow. I don't think so. I think that he is out of their price range. I think I saw TD literally tweet this the other day that he's heard based on what he's known. I don't want to put words in his mouth. It seems that Linderbaum's going to be a little bit rich for their blood, which I get. I think that's going to be a common theme for the Titans. Like as much as everybody wants the big blowout sugar rush free agency, I wrote an article about this yesterday, which I encourage folks to go and read, about how today's the day that we get to see Mike Borgonzi put his money where his mouth is on a question that we have been asking since last summer. I have had one-on-one conversations with almost everyone in this front office in the past 8 months explicitly about this question of, hey, basically your mission statement when this version of the front office was put into power was that we're not going to do the sugar rush thing. They not so subtly were like, hey, that free agency that Rand did, we ain't doing that kind of thing. Like that's not the way to build a team. Draft and develop, patience, supplementing a roster through free agency, all of these things. And yet they now have so many needs and they have so much money, and it's going to take real discipline to not do that again. To not, I mean, like a thing that I tweeted yesterday, Austin, I don't think it's going to be this way. But I was like, what's the reaction going to be if the Titans go out in free agency and sign the most expensive center, overpay a wide receiver too, spend a bunch of money on cornerback, and get a value receiver? Because that is, to the letter, exactly what Rand Carthon did.
And an inside linebacker.
Right. It's exactly what Rand Carthon did in 2024. Are we going to just like close our eyes and pretend that that's cool? I've seen that movie. Oh,
by the way, with a new head coach going into the second year of a quarterback.
Correct. It's an identical situation practically to what Rand Carthon had.
There are just different people pulling the strings and making the decisions.
Which is why I think it won't be that way. And I think the Titans, I mean, like last year they had less money. They had something in the 60s. Their one and only big boy purchase was an offensive tackle, and that was I think that was an exception kind of thing where they're like, we need one, he's available, we're gonna make an exception for a premium position, but we don't want to be doing this in the future. I think they're gonna spend a lot of money on Wandale. It seems pretty obvious. But beyond that, Austin, here's a question: will you be surprised if Wan'Dale Robinson's contract is the biggest total number that they hand out to anybody this free agency? Because I won't. I think it might be.
I think it's
him or John Franklin Myers.
I think Wandale would be the biggest total number.
Okay, so we agree on that.
Yeah.
Which would mean no Linderbaum.
Yeah, I think Linderbaum has gotten too expensive for the Titans. that's just my gut. That doesn't tell
Same.
me anything there. I see a comment here. Dylan Parham.
I've seen that connection quite a bit. TD was also talking about that the other day. I think this makes a lot of sense.
TD brought that up, I think, is one T started that.
Okay.
I don't think he hasn't played.
The O-line coach he hasn't played center in the NFL, I don't believe, but I believe he has college experience at center, but I could be wrong.
Apparently he has had work. He can do any of the 3 interior O-line positions.
Memphis
guard is his primary. Center, he is capable at center.
Right.
That's a risk. You're going to cut Lloyd Cushenberry to maybe have a capable at center guard.
Well, at what point do you go, okay, at what point is it like just re-sign Corey Levin? He's also capable at center.
Yeah, or, Lloyd's got to play somewhere too. You're bringing back. I'm joking.
No.
I'm kidding.
That'd be crazy.
But again, the whole.
I don't know where Lloyd's going to play.
Well, there's several teams that need center.
That's part of the reason why I don't know. There's so many options.
Eric said Paul Karski reported the Titans are in on Hendrickson. So I know Terry McCormick did it.
Yeah,
and now Paul's
more than one have, and I not a rip at them. My personal opinion, not buying it even a little bit. Not even a little bit.
Had the Titans made inquiries about Trey Hendrickson's market? Sure.
Yeah, again, I think they have a number, and they're like, we would like Trey at this number, and then they sent it to Trey's people, and Trey's people just didn't respond because it's like, no.
Yeah.
Ain't no way. Trey Hendrickson, not a Titan. Alec Pierce, not a Titan. 2 things I am certain of.
So what are you most confident in them actually doing? Not a Titan, but confident in them doing. Is it JFM?
Yeah, but that feels like a cop-out answer. That we've known that longer than the Wandale.
Outside of Wandale, outside of JFM.
It gets really there's a big cliff of confidence here. Cop-out answer also is signing a center. They're going to sign a veteran center, as I talked about in my post-combine notebook, and Paul Karski explicitly reported that week, like, veteran center is the plan. I don't know who the guy is. I just know that I don't think it's going to be Linderbaum. I think it's going to be in the cheaper market.
Here's something.
I don't have individual players besides those 2 we've named that I feel certain of.
That's fine.
But I do have positions. Like I feel pretty certain that they're going to get another edge. I feel pretty certain they're going to get a starting center. Actually, I am certain they're going to get a starting center veteran. I feel pretty certain that they're going to address receiver and maybe more than just Wandale. I feel pretty certain that they're going to target a higher tier middle linebacker, like Tremaine Edmonds tier of guy. I just don't know who it's going to be yet. So I think we know the directions they're going to go. The question is just how much money in for who. That's what makes this week fun.
Manifest says bigger question here and off topic, but who the hell is kicking for the Titans? I thought Joey Slye did a solid job. And I think the thing about this, because all 3 specialists are free agents. You kept John Bones Fossil, who brought in Joey Slye and Johnny Hecker. Morgan Cox was already here. Morgan Cox and Hecker are either late 30s or into 40. Morgan Cox.
Cox is in his 40s.
I can't remember.
Cox is definitely.
I had some crossover time at Tennessee with him, and if he's in his 40s, then how many red shirts?
He's literally days away from 40. I was wrong.
Okay,
sorry, Morgan. He's about to be 40, like very soon.
So Joey Slye was brought in, and he's 29.
Joey Slye's season, I think, is thought of worse than it was by fans.
I agree. I think Hecker you can improve upon. Joey Slye, I think, was very solid. I think they got kind of big leg happy with Joey Slye early in the year for no reason.
Correct.
But
most of his misses were from deep.
Yeah.
They should bring back Slye and Hecker. What is Buck saying? I don't know. They should bring back not Hecker. Sorry, they should bring back Slye and Cox, and they should replace Hecker.
Buck's text, like, is it Linderbaum?
Is he
That's got to be.
about?
I think he's talking about Linderbaum in the text.
25 would be outrageous.
Yeah, so Albert Breer on SI this morning has the Titans and the Giants going for Wandale, but at around 15 AAV.
Right, I saw that. And again, that's why I said if that's actually the number, which I'll be really surprised by, then cool. I'm very cool with that.
Yeah. Okay. We have super chats.
Let's do them.
You've already done the live stream one.
Mm-hmm.
Big says, apologizing for his previous super chat. Sorry, I was holding my baby. LOL. I want volume catches, load drops before anything. I meant a second round rookie wide receiver can't be reliable like a vet this year. That's very hilarious. Of the
define vet though, like big range of reliable as a vet kind of thing. I mean, like
sure, yeah. I mean, I think obviously based on his other comments, he wants Wandale. He doesn't care about the money relatively, within realistic situations. Kick of the King says, if Alec Pierce is a Titan, Easton has to eat a shoe.
True. He's not a Titan. Does anyone actually think he's a Titan? Be honest.
No, I don't.
No one believes he's going to be a Titan.
But your whole thing was you refused to have your mind go to a place where he was not in India.
Yeah, I'm not moving the goalposts on this, by the way. I don't want people to think like Easton used to say he's not a Colt. Now he's just saying he's not a Titan. No. I tweeted yesterday. I am still confident he is a Colt. And that is the bar on which I will be judged one way or another. I'm double confident. I'm quadruple confident he's not a Titan.
Okay. What am I most confident in the Titans doing this week? I am most confident in the Titans outside of Wandale, because that's been removed from this conversation.
Mm-hmm.
I'm most confident in them doing very, very little and pissing everybody off.
Correct.
Because
New Jerseys. Check out the New Jerseys.
That's what they should do, to be honest.
Agreed.
And it's JT made the joke in our group text immediately after the date of 3/12/26 New Jersey billboard tees came out, of like, great opportunity to just distract the fans from a slow start in free agency.
Jingle those keys in front of the baby. New Jerseys.
So I think they're going to do the I think it's going to be a Wandale Robinson signing, and then
bunch of nothing, bunch of value dudes,
just a bunch of like
nothing.
Patience. Patience.
Well, we have to remember that free agency goes in waves, right? Like, and it's usually by position. Like, what runs on position are there?
Which I think
I think it'll be John Franklin Myers with a contract everybody's surprised by, and Wandale, and then
okay. And then mostly just kind of like.
By the way, like what's our convo going to be like on that? I feel like we're all kind of in denial about the John. Is John Franklin Myers going to make like 17, 18, 19 million dollars? Because those are the numbers I'm seeing floated around. And I get like he's literally the only defensive lineman on the market in free agency. He's the only one. But whoo, doggy, it's a lot of money.
You're gonna pay Jeff and JFM like $50 million AAV combined.
Listen, I am a fan of investing in your trenches and truly valuing your interior defensive line.
Especially when you're like, we're going to rotate guys up front a lot. So we're going to pay these guys $50 million to play 60% of the snaps.
It is a little bit eye-watering.
So, all right. I think that we have covered our ground today.
I think we have.
If you have not liked the show, please do.
We are 80 minutes away from chaos breaking out across the land.
Like the show. The update on the poll. Do you like the idea of a white face mask on the new Titans white helmets that we reported? Easton has the article, A2Zsports.com. It's all over our social media everywhere. 56% say yes. 44% say no, they don't like it. The other thing that we didn't really talk much about was the Tennessee across the chest. I mean,
I mentioned it at the top.
No, we didn't really give our opinions much about it. We don't have to right now.
I gave mine.
We've been on for a long time. I think it's an interesting move. I don't know how it will be received. I think some people are. I think
beyond reproach.
I don't think it's going to change anybody's mind about what their predetermined opinion about the Titans being the Tennessee Titans and not the Nashville whatevers.
Open your hearts, people.
Yeah. And I, for one, I think the white face mask will look very, very sharp. Very clean.
Yeah, I'm seeing like, we can't show these, but like, I'm seeing mock-ups. Go to our article on Twitter and look in the comments. People are posting these mock-ups.
Which, by the way, man, shades tomorrow. Well, I cannot stand when people spoil the news in an article by replying to the tweet. It's like, guys,
no, it's loser behavior. I know the one you're talking about too.
Yeah, and I'm like, come on, man! Like, this is a
multiple
business.
Screenshots of the article, and you just throw it in for free.
Yeah, we have done a lot of work on this, and
we didn't even hide it behind a paywall. That's the most common thing. Is like people,
we're just asking you to read what we put together.
Click it for free is all we're asking. Holy!
All right, and
losers.
So Just Smash,
I confirmed because you can. No, I have not seen the full jersey.
That's what Just Smash said this too. Before y'all ended, apparently the jersey has leaked, and have y'all seen it?
Is he?
No, we have not seen it, and no, to our knowledge,
those leaks are not real.
The leaks are to our knowledge, the leaks are not real. So that's that. The leaks that we have seen are not real.
I will lay eyes on the jersey this week. That
Thursday.
Much I know.
Yeah.
Maybe before then, but at least by Thursday.
Yes. No later than Thursday evening.
Can't wait.
Okay. I mean, I think
Wandale Robinson, thanks for being here. Step aside, fellas. We've got jerseys.
More likely to be Jim Carrey than it is the Titans jerseys that have been leaked. Okay. We're done.
I see you, Laws, in the comments.
Who?
Anyways, let's go home.
We are home.
Not a thing you're gonna put on the screen. Just saying, I see it.
All right, that's all. All right, like the show, hit that like button again. That helps us quite a bit. Like the show, and we'll see you guys tomorrow morning. When who knows what's gonna happen over the next little bit.
Yes, the logo is real. The jerseys are not. Thank you.
Logo's real, jerseys are not yet. So we'll catch you guys tomorrow. Buck Rising live for prime time tonight, reacting to the first bit of the legal tampering negotiating window of free agency. Talk to you soon. Thanks.